Welcome back to Focus on South Texas. Luminaria is the yearly contemporary arts festival that turns downtown into a nighttime gallery. But did you know the organization is supporting artists all year round? Here to tell us more about the Working Artists Fund is Executive Director Yadhira Lozano and CEO of Shell Shock Records 3, Shelly Lares. Welcome to the show, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Well, Yadhira, the Luminaria Contemporary Arts Festival happens every fall, but the festival, it has evolved to support artists all year round with the Working Artists Fund. So what is it, and tell us how artists can apply and get involved?
Sure. Well, the Working Artists Fund is a micro grant. So this is not thousands of dollars. This is enough money to get you over any financial obstacle you may have that prevents you from furthering your artistic endeavors. So any emerging established artist that lives and works within Bexar County is welcome to apply. Except for this year and last year, it's been for women only. So my funder, Alice Clayburgh Reynolds, supports women. And I thought, this is a great opportunity to really focus the grant funding and turn it into a cohort. Mm-hmm. So for the past year, for 2025, we've been meeting outside of just funding somebody and saying, okay, here you go, here's some money. We've been able to discuss what their needs are and what more education they would like. So in comes Shelly Lares to serve as the mentor, to talk to artists about their careers. What is it that they're working on outside of just the one little specific project, but how are they establishing their career as a small business? Mm-hmm. Because this is a separate business, not just I'm churning out art and people are buying my art or hiring me. Mm-hmm. But how are you really focusing on growing your business, establishing a business? What's the legal side of it? What's the business side of it? So that's what we did last year, and we've been funded again this year to continue with the Working Artists Fund for Women.
And that's kind of how the Working Artists Fund started, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, the Working Artists Fund began during the COVID-19 pandemic. So it was called the Corona Arts Relief Program, and the city came together with the Area Foundation and said, let's award artists micro grants for professional development. But I didn't want to keep the name. I said, I want to keep doing this because it was so impactful at such a small scale that let's turn it into Working Artists, because that's exactly what we are. We're working artists. And there's a lot of activity that goes on behind the scenes that people are not aware of. They just think, the paint goes up on the mural and we're done. It's like, no, not really. There's a lot that goes into creating a mural, into creating fine art, into creating music. So we wanted to continue that program and just rebrand it and put it out there. We have had the Working Artists Fund for everyone, not just women, but this funder specifically wanted to focus on the development of women artists.
And tell us why it's important to support women artists.
Well, I think women have a lot of unique challenges to becoming an artist and focusing on their career. We raise families, we're caretakers of our elders, of our children, and we also have full-time jobs. And so when do we get a chance to be an artist? We have to have a partner that may be supportive, or maybe we're not. Maybe we're single mothers, or there's a lot more nuance that goes into being a woman and an artist. To get to that point, there's a little more obstacles that come into play. And so with Alice Clayburgh Reynolds, they really want to focus on helping women, and we're more than happy to provide that service.
And speaking of artists, Shelly, you have years of experience as a professional musician and a manager. So what is it like mentoring artists in San Antonio?
It's been great. Since my retirement from the road, 3 years ago, I've really taken on this mentorship very seriously, not only for aspiring artists as well, but of course through Luminaria. Because there's really no book to follow about, being an artist or in the music industry or anything of the arts, really. So you really have to work closely with someone who's kind of been there, done it. So in working with the women artists, it's been great because we talk about really, if you want to do this as a business, right? It's wonderful to have the gift of being an artist, a musician, but it's one thing if you want to be able to make it as a living, then you got to do things a certain way. So, we sit down, we talk to them about copywriting things, we talk to them about registering, whether they're musicians or artists, getting their bank accounts for their businesses, setting things up as a business. That way they're stable on that part of the business. And then we also talk about some of the experiences that I've gone through as a woman, the challenges that I went through as a woman in my 40-year career. It wasn't always easy, but it's not impossible. Sometimes some opportunities that are a lot more open to men, you find to see this resistance for women, but I think that's changing. I think we're really showing the versatility of women and through artists and through musicianship, and I think we're really showing the world and San Antonio alone, because some of the artists that are associated with Luminaria already have big, beautiful pieces of art in San Antonio, and to see that has been one of the artists that I mentored, it's like a proud mama moment, for me. And so I love it. I love being on this side, off the stage, on this side of the fence, to where I can really help represent them, guide them, and mentor them. It's really important to me.
I love that. And what do you like specifically about working with Luminaria?
Oh, well, I love Yadhira because she's my good friend and she's so passionate. And I love, to me, you have to vibe with who you're collaborating with, because if not, then it makes things difficult, right? And we're doing it for the pure love and respect of the arts. That's really what we're doing. And Luminaria is the only one in the world really that is really captivating so many different cultures, so many different aspects from, like she said, we cover not only art, we cover spoken word, we cover dance, we cover music. And I mean, you can go, it's a one-stop shop. Like you go to this Contemporary Arts Festival, but you're also feeling the San Antonio culture as well. But we have people from out of town that come in and want to showcase their art, and it's like, wow, it's a great part to be in, to really meet and network, and it's an ecosystem of what we've starting to build. And this is going to be my second or third year working alongside them, and like I'm learning new things from her because she's serious about these grants, and it takes so much time. People do not understand it's an art form in itself. And it takes a lot of time and dedication, and she definitely brings that to the table. And these artists are not only blessed to be able to show their art, but blessed to be alongside someone like Yadhira that really is passionate about it.
And Yadhira, I hear there was a demand for Luminaria events throughout the year. So where can viewers find the Luminaria pop-up art gallery?
Correct. So we did strategic planning in the pandemic. We were trying to go back to the drawing board. How are we going to emerge from the pandemic with new, fresh ideas? And the feedback was that they wanted more Luminaria throughout San Antonio and throughout the year. So we partnered with the Aiden Hotel, just right on the east side of I-37 and Commerce. And they asked us to really take down corporate art and put up local artists. And we've been having such a great time. Last year we were switching exhibitions every month with our fine art curator, Andrea Rivas. And so reach out to her if you're an artist and want to show, because this has been such a wonderful experience. It's free. Everything we do is free to the public, and we want to maintain that way. So through our partnership with the Aiden, we can put up local artists, and then they can also sell their work. So tourists that are staying in the hotel or going to the Alamo Dome, they can come through and enjoy their bar. They also have a coffee bar and the speakeasy. So it's a whole vibe just to be at the Aiden. You don't have to stay there. You can just go visit and really experience San Antonio culture in a very immersive environment.
Thank you, ladies. Well, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.